meeting of March 10th, 2025. Mr. Segrist, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I will call this meeting to order. And to start our meeting, we have a presentation from Nicole Dalsey, who is part of the One Box Initiative. We have a handout from her, and we're going to hear from her about One Box Initiative.
Hi, good evening. Whoa, that is very loud. Hello. So really appreciate the opportunity to be here today. My presence here tonight is really just to inform you about some things that are happening right here in Homewood. We are the Addiction Prevention Coalition. We have been founded and operating since 2007. Our name used to be Freedom Source Incorporated, but we've been known for quite some time as Addiction Prevention Coalition. We are headquartered in Homewood. We're in the Omega Properties building off of Vulcan, kind of right by Jim and Nick's. And so that's really the basis of our operation. We do a lot of work to promote prevention and recovery around Central Alabama. We do have a statewide presence, but again, the bulk of our work is really in Central Alabama, primarily in Jefferson and Shelby County and in Birmingham City. But how I got to you all is because in September, we launched a robust initiative with funding from the state of Alabama's opioid settlement to distribute One Boxes, which are Narcan boxes with 2 doses of Narcan or naloxone. Is everyone familiar with what that is, hopefully? Okay, great. It also has a training video, and that's led by a first responder. And so when there's a person in crisis with an overdose, the person can, who's standing there can just go to the box, press play, and you get a 1-minute instructional video in both English and Spanish to walk people through how to administer Narcan. Narcan is not hard to administer, but a lot of times people panic when there's an emergency, right? And these boxes make it accessible and help everyone kind of walk it through step by step. I'm here really because Chief Broadhead was Fire Chief Broadhead was one of our early adopters. And when we approached this, we were hoping to have about 30 One Boxes in community. We talked to him and he said, I would like 40 for the city of Homewood. So hopefully you have seen these boxes. They've been deployed at lots of different places around Homewood, and he's really helping us kind of get the word out. As you can see from the sheet that I have given you, however, there are other opportunities that we can engage on depending on what might be needed. And I wanted to let you know what we've done in Homewood in 2024, and then if you have questions about what we've done besides just Homewood, I'm happy to talk about that. But we train mental health first aid, which is a evidence-based training in a couple of different ways. We train adults who work with other adults. We can train adults who work with youth on how to de-escalate conflict, what happens if a young person talks about suicide ideation, talks about the fact that they have an eating disorder, maybe they're being bullied at school, something like that. Not all adults know how to have those conversations with young people. So yes, we teach adults how to talk to adults, but also we teach adults how to intervene with young people, and then we also teach teenagers how to intervene with each other. Not to take the place of a trusted adult, rather to augment it or to support it. So in Homewood alone, we trained 23 individuals last year. That all is at no cost to you all. We have a federal grant currently to be able to provide that service through SAMHSA. We distributed 65 boxes of Narcan. That does not include the 2 boxes of Narcan that are in each One Box. So if you take the 48 One Boxes, multiply that by 2, and then add 65, that's how many boxes of Narcan we distributed here in Homewood. That some people might seem like a lot. It's really not. There's a lot more that we could do. There's a lot more capacity we have. That's one of the reasons why I'm here tonight, is to let you know that we exist, to let you know that we can and want to do more. Some additional programs that we offer that we have not offered in Homewood, again, just kind of putting it out here, if there are other needs that you all have, some of the things that we do, we operate a telephone warm line. So any sort of families that are struggling with a loved one, you have a person in active addiction who's looking for treatment, looking for a recovery house, they can call us. We do not track demographic information, so I cannot tell you how many of those folks who call us are from Homewood, but I can tell you that our phone is ringing pretty much nonstop, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We offer K through 12 school-based education. This usually in the middle and high school goes through health classes. Health teachers cannot know all things. We teach science-based, fact-based information that is in line with the core standards. Kindergarten through 4th grade, we're primarily teaching coping strategies and resiliency skills. Things like how to give a compliment, how to accept a compliment, how to handle angry feelings, how to talk to a trusted adult and verbalize those feelings that you have. We also offer and employ people in long-term recovery to provide peer support, because we know that many times you're going to listen to a person that has the same lived experience as you. So we do have peers on our team. We also do a lot of suicide prevention trainings. Those are also at no cost. Those are 1 hour, if that's ever anything that you all would be interested in for here at City Council or for your other place of business. Happy to do that. Something that differentiates APC from a lot of other organizations is that, yes, we provide support to the person struggling with substances, but we do a lot to support the family, because a lot of times the family doesn't know what to do. They want to control it. They think they caused it. They want to fix it. They don't know if they give more money or less money. Do they answer the phone? Do they shut things off? What do they do? And there really is no right answer. So what we do is we pair folks in cohorts, and we have support groups for people so that they can share what others have done, what's worked for them, and provide some mutual support. And then the last thing that we do is we have youth leadership trainings. And these are for young people who a lot of times have had our school-based education. They're like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then they start a club. And so you might be familiar with peer helping. That is something that we assist with. But essentially, it's a way for high schoolers to capitalize on the skills that we teach them and become young leaders. So really, I just wanted to let you know about the resource that is in your very backyards, let you know what we've been doing in Homewood, and let you also know that if there's something on this sheet or that I haven't talked about that you're like, what about? To please reach out. I will leave a stack of my business cards with Bo, and you have our information at the bottom here. I'm happy to do anything that we can to support you all and to prevent substance use disorder here and in Central Alabama. Last thing I will say is that if you want to get to know us more, we do have our annual, this is our 9th annual End Addiction Walk that happens at City Walk. We draw over 3,000 people from the area downtown on April 5th. It's people who have lost loved ones. It's people who are in recovery. It's people maybe who have an hour clean and sober and just need to find somewhere to go to support. It's also for family members. Again, family who are like, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to go and be with a bunch of other people that can help support me. It's a free event, so we would love to have you all out. And I don't know if we have time for questions or whatever, but I'm completely finished.
Okay, thank you so much. And I do have one quick question.
Yes.
Have y'all worked with the JBS Center over on Beacon Parkway?
Yes,
'Cause I know that's
yes,
something.
we work very closely with them. We have a community advisory board, and a lot of those folks are on our board. We've met even with Carlos. We've met with lots of different groups and do that on an ongoing basis so that we can make sure that we are serving all of the people, not just here in Homewood, but throughout. And so we partner with a lot of organizations.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you being here, and thanks for being with us. You do not have to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. All right. We have an invocation from Miss Andrus, and then we'll stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
If you will, please bow your heads as we pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for the longer days of sunlight and warmer temperatures of spring ahead. Thank you for the beauty we see throughout Homewood as our blooms come back to life. Thank you for all our citizens, young and old, our city employees, and our first responders. Lord, I ask for your blessing on us gathered here tonight. Please give us wisdom as we govern and meet tonight. Please provide us with a sense of the welfare and needs of Homewood citizens and the ability to work in harmony. It is in your name I pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Thank you, Ms. Dalsey. Bo, can we get the roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Counselor Gwaltney.
Here.
Gear. Holloman. Here. Wolverton. Here. Sims.
Here.
Brandt. Here. Nelms.
Here.
Andrus.
Here.
Harden. Here. President Smith.
Here, sorry, I jumped the gun. I was ready to, yep. All right, the first order of business is getting a motion to approve, the council meeting minutes of February 24th, 2025, and dispense with the reading. Okay, motion from Mr. Wolverton.
Second.
Second from Ms. Andrus. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that is 9-0 to approve those minutes. And then we also have the minutes from our special called meeting from March 3rd, 2025. If I could get a
Move to
motion to approve those. Motion from Mr. Wolverton.
Second.
Second from Ms. Andrus. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 9-0. Those meeting minutes are approved as well. Okay, next order of business is board vacancies. And the one that we know we have is the Ward 5 Board of Education opening. It is the spot that Judy Truitt has been serving in for the last 10 years?
10 years.
Yeah,
10
she
years.
is finishing her second term, and so we need to open that up because we have to appoint the person who is going to fill that position by our last meeting in April. There are two ways we can do this. We can either open it until April the 7th, which is a committee night, and have that next week to interview the candidates and make the appointment at that first council meeting in April on the 14th. Or we can keep it open until the 14th, have the interviews, and then we would not be able to appoint until that last meeting in April on the 28th. It's really whatever y'all choose to do.
I think if we wait until the week of the 14th, we close it on the 14th, that gives us 2 weeks, doesn't it, to
Yeah.
do interviews? I
Yes.
think let's try that.
Okay.
I'm sitting here just looking at my calendar. I think I'm out of town on April 9th, and if we're trying to appoint by the
They'll take
14th.
office in June. Yeah. Okay, so open the Ward 5 Board of Education spot to remain open until 5:30 on, or do we do 4:30 or 5:30? 4:30 on the 14th of April.
And then we would do interviews the week of the 14th and the 21st, and then appoint on the 28th.
That is correct.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, all right, well, that is what we shall do. We'll keep that open until the 14th. Okay, I don't think there are any, but does anyone have any additions to the agenda?
Counselor Smith, just to, I believe there's also some
Oh.
beautification board
Oh, yes.
openings that
Sorry.
closed today. I don't think we received any candidates.
Okay.
So I would like to possibly open that through
Reopen that?
April. Yes.
Do you want to do
reopen.
that to the 14th as well?
That would be great.
Okay, all right. Is it 2 of them?
Yes, it's Ward 3 and Ward 2 from my recommendation.
Okay, Ward 2 and Ward 3.
Or from my memory.
And Bo, I did forget about the abatement board spot for Ward 4. Did we receive, I thought we received somebody had expressed interest.
There was some interest, but I haven't heard anything.
Okay, was that closing today too, or did we leave that one open? I think we left it open until March 31st. Okay, so we'll maybe reach out to some folks and see about making sure that happens. Okay, so we'll open those 2 spots on the beautification board, Ward 2 and Ward 3, till the April 14th as well. Okay, sorry, and then without any, I think I heard anybody say anything about additions to the agenda. We will move on from that. And the next is our consent agenda. We have one item on the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Second.
All right, motion from Mr. Alamon, second from Mr. Harden. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
9-0 to approve the consent agenda. All right, moving on to our old business agenda, we only have 2 items. The first is 270225, which is a public hearing set for tonight at 6 p.m. for consideration to amend the tax incentive agreement with Piggly Wiggly for their construction project, brought to us by our mayor, who is out of the country at the moment. This was carried over from our February 24th meeting. And Mike, you want to speak to this before I open up the public hearing?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You may recall that in October of 2022, we approved an agreement, incentive package for the Piggly Wiggly is what I called it, but it's essentially to McConnell, White, and Terry, who are the owners of the property there, as a part of that development, $3.5 million. Because of some difficulties, they haven't started construction, so therefore they can't meet some of the deadlines. So really what you're doing here, or what's before you, and what's been advertised essentially is the money is the same, $3.5 million. The completion date is, has been extended for approximately 2 years, which will be through, by the end of 2027. And the incentive package would be expire on December 31st, 2038. You has also have amended the base period, or the base year, to provide that the sales proceeds are $5.7 million. Remember that there's a cap that there can be no more than $3.5 million paid by any term, but this gives them the opportunity to recover those funds if their sales meet the standards that they hope that it will. If it doesn't, they certainly don't receive any incentives other than what they're entitled to. So you're amending in one form, but essentially we're adopting a new resolution. This will have to be validated again, go through the same process that the 2022 agreement went through, and that's the way it's been advertised.
All right, thank you, Mike. So with that explanation, I will open this public hearing. And Mr. Legg, would you like to come forward?
Thank you and good evening. We have all been down this road for a long time, and I appreciate your patience. We think we're at the end at this point. We have a deal struck, thank goodness, with all the parties involved. So we're looking forward to starting construction and trying to bring everybody a new store. So.
Do y'all have an estimated time for the construction to start?
Not yet,
Not yet.
but it
Getting
should
there.
be within the next 120 days.
Okay.
It's gotta be completed by December 31, 2027.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So we have a short window.
Right, yeah, gotta get going. Okay, awesome. All right, is there anyone else here to speak to this item? No? Okay, well, with that, I am going to close the public hearing and ask the council if anyone has any questions for Mr. Legg or for Mr. Kendrick.
Good evening. Nick Sims. I just have a question, Mr. Legg,
Yes, sir.
about the incentive, and I know that we're referencing it as Piggly Wiggly for the item, but it actually will include a larger piece of property. And do you have any updates on any future development of the property in addition to the Piggly Wiggly?
Well, I think you have a site plan there or an exhibit, I believe that kind of shows. But the $3.5 million, and if I'm wrong, Mr. Kendricks, help me, but this includes the square that Mr. Terry owns. He owns the piece where the CVS is, and he owns the Piggly Wiggly piece. He owns the Cameron Corners piece, and then the piece he bought behind the CVS where the Piggly Wiggly would move to. And we just wish it could have been a lot simpler from the start, because our plan was just to move the CVS to the corner and then back there, and everything would have been great. But we didn't get a lot of cooperation from the CVS folks, and so that's why we have to do it this way. So, but the Cameron Corners, what the plans are is to give that a nice facelift. Once we start construction, so we can kind of make that look a little nicer and tie in. We have what Mr. Terry has agreed to, and with the Piggly Wiggly folks, is they're concerned about the visibility, which here at the last minute, why, but this was one of the things that kind of concerned them. And, we understand it, but he has agreed to hold off building that corner piece for a period of just a few years, so they can establish, their sales, which we think they're going to be right from day one. We increase in sales going up at least 42 to 45%. But he has agreed. Now, that doesn't affect you guys because it probably helps you, because it's not contributing to his total amount, of what he's doing, you know, to try to receive any of the money. So, we're trying to work that, but he's willing to start now and, get this project underway.
Okay, so what you're saying is the piece that's the existing store, he's gonna let that go for a second, just to give the new Piggly Wiggly a chance to
Right.
establish themselves
Right.
back in their new
Right.
spot? Okay,
Correct.
gotcha.
The exhibits that are attached to this document are identical ones that were attached to the 2022 agreement.
Right. Right.
Okay. Any other questions?
We're showing like a little 5,000 square foot, kind of little office type, or a little strip, not a strip, but, in essence, it is a little small strip.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, without any further questions, on this one, we do not need a, this is not an ordinance, so we do not need a,
Oh, ma'am, it's a resolution.
okay, it's a resolution, okay. Then I would ask for, oh, did we get a, report from finance? I'm sorry, I didn't ask you for that, Andy, sorry.
No worries. Yes, ma'am. The committee met last Monday and recommended 3-0 to refer this item to the full council pending the public hearing.
Okay,
The motion was made by Councilor Harden and seconded by Councilor Brandt.
all right, sorry, forgot about you. All right, so, what I would need is a motion to approve the amended agreement.
So, second.
All right, motion for Mr. Harden, second from Mr. Gwaltney. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that is 9-0 and is resolution number 2535. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Legg, we appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much, appreciate it.
And I hate to go back to the beginning, y'all, and also, when I said that we didn't have any changes to the agenda, I forgot to get a motion to approve the agenda as it is presented.
So moved.
All right, motion from Mr. Waltney, second from Mr. Wolverton. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
9-0, that is approved. Okay. All right, moving on to our second item, 200225, request for discussion of cost savings and benefits of the new train chiller and control systems, and to authorize the mayor to sign a contract through the end of fiscal year 24-25 for servicing of that chiller, brought to the committee by myself. And just as a point of reference, this is really about signing the agreement. So can I get a report, Mr. Waltney, from the Finance Committee?
Yes, ma'am. The committee met and voted 3-0 to recommend this item to the council. The motion was made by Councilor Harden and seconded by Councilor Brandt.
All right, excellent. All right, we have a motion from the Finance Committee. Doesn't require, yes, sir.
The resolution that authorizes the city manager to sign the agreement.
Okay,
Since we have a change in addition,
yes,
the city manager will sign the agreements that you approve typically unless you
okay.
desire otherwise.
No, that sounds good to me. We're glad that he's here to do that. All right, so, this does not require a second, so all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That is 9-0, and that is resolution number 2536. All right, that brings us to our committee referral agenda, which you can all see there. Can I get a motion to approve the committee referral agenda as it is? All
Second.
right, motion for Ms. Nelms. Who was the second? I'm sorry. Oh, Mr. Waltney. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
9-0, and that is approved. All right, that brings us to our other new business agenda. First item is 090325, request for consideration of an ABC 240 special event, nonprofit tax exempt license for the Homewood Library Foundation block party in the parking lot of the Homewood Library at 1721 Oxmoor Road, brought to us by Judith Wright, our library director, and Mr. Segrist. Mr. Gwaltney, I don't think this requires any kind of,
They have already received
inspections.
their ABC license, and police and fire do not need to inspect.
okay, so this is
Part
just us wanting no objection, okay?
Correct.
Can I get a motion to?
Motion.
Okay,
Second.
motion from, Mr. Wolverton, second from Mr. Gwaltney. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. All right, that is 9-0 to approve that license, and I don't believe that is a resolution. Okay, that brings us to our next item, 100325, request for consideration of approval of the vouchers for the period of February 25th, 2025 through March 10th, 2025, coming to us from our Chief of Staff, J.J. Bischoff. Mr. Harden, you're getting to the end of your review period.
I was hoping the city manager would just start doing this on Saturdays. Yes, I had a chance to review, and of course, I had direct access to a guy named JJ who answered all my questions, so I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers from period of February 25th, 2025 through March 10th, 2025.
Okay, motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Wolverton. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
9-0, that is, resolution number 2537.
I'm sorry to tell you that the council still has to approve all expenses.
Yeah, you're not getting out of that, so sorry. Okay, and then, our final item of the night is 020325, request to set a public hearing for March 31st, 2025 at 6 p.m. for consideration of a resolution fixing the cost which it finds were reasonably incurred in the demolition of the structure at 1509 Beckham Drive and assessing the same against the property, and there's a long parcel number, coming to us from Mr. Pugh, our building official, inspections official. And so without objection, I am gonna set that public hearing for our council meeting of March the 31st. So that is set. And that brings us to the end of our agenda. Amazing. And with our mayor out of the country, we are glad to welcome our new city manager, Glenn Adams. He is going to give the mayor's comments and just say a little welcome to everybody.
Well, first off, I want to thank you all for entrusting me with this position. I'm truly excited to be here. It's been a whirlwind. It's just been since last week, Wednesday. But I've already am starting to feel like I've been here for at least a couple of weeks. It's just, and I do have an apartment. I'm just not fully moved in. But I would also like to thank you all for having such a short council meeting for my first one. So I appreciate that. So the mayor's comments, Taste of Homewood is coming up Thursday. I intend to be there, which should be fun. And I'm willing to talk to anybody who has any issues. That's from 5:30 to 8 right here at the plaza. Chamber has a breakfast on Tuesday, the March 18th. It's at 8:15 to 9:30, Brooksdale University Park. Homewood Library has the Farm Fest Pet the Animals of all, and it's for all ages. I almost said pet animals of all ages. But Pet the Animals, and it's for all ages. That's Monday, March 24th at 10:30 a.m. And the Homewood Library also has Touch a Truck for all ages, Wednesday, March 26th at 10:30 a.m. So that's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
I just missed it.
Welcome. We're very, very happy that you're here. And
Thank you.
you're welcome for such a short meeting. It's how I like to roll. Okay, with that, we'll go for our representative reports. Mr. Waltney, it looks like you need to set public safety.
I do. I will set public safety immediately following finance at 5 p.m. on the 17th. I don't really have any comments other than the item that I've been texting, details to people or images to share with everybody. It should be coming back around to the P&D committee. I'm sorry, Planning and Development Committee here shortly. I saw another issue with a house today. It was a similar situation, so it shot back to the top of my to-do list. But all that to be said, Mr. Adams, thrilled you're here. I hope you're getting to learn lots about the city and our neighbors. You're gonna just love it. It's a wonderful city, and you're gonna be in a great job with great staff. So I'm excited for you, and excited for this group to have you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
That's it.
Mr. Alamon?
I don't have any comments tonight, just welcoming Glenn to city manager role. Thank you for being here, appreciate it.
Mr. Wolverton?
I don't have any items for Public Works that I saw, so I will not have a committee set. I did want to mention something that had come up. So Councilor Gwaltney and I had been, before there was a slew of emails, already discussing the permitting and the issues with races and runs throughout the community. So I had talked to Chief Ross about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, as we were trying to circle back, and he said we are averaging a run every other weekend in the community. And so I imagine that this will probably be something that we'll visit in committee again at some point soon. But just to be clear, I think the biggest thing is communication with the neighbors and those that are impacted by the routes. And we did deal with this about a year and a half ago. We had put that on the race organizers. Unfortunately, I think in most cases they're not really following through well with that. So I think it's worth discussing, and maybe now that we have a city manager involved, we can help, look at some of those things. Real quick question to anybody up here. Do we know if we still have access to Everbridge for broadcasting some of those things out?
We do not.
No, the EMA has switched the provider that they use for that system, and so when we reached out previously, they were in the middle of transitioning still, so we could reach back out to get an update on what provider they're using now and getting set up with an account, but there's no Everbridge account currently.
Okay.
Bo, do you have anything to add to that?
I do not.
It's Civic Plus.
Civic Plus, okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay. Sounds great. And then, yeah, just wanted to welcome Glenn. For those that didn't figure this out from his resume, he went to a school that is our #1 rival, but we share memories from the same community. I grew up in Pullman and had a great time there. There's a good chance we may have overlapped some time there. So, but anyway, that's it. I'm very civil unless we're playing you guys.
So 2 Washington State people in one room, okay.
Yeah, exactly. He's
washed.
He's
Yeah.
crimson. I know. I did want to point out I did vote for you, so I gave you a show of
I
support.
think there was a conflict.
All right, Mr. Sims.
Yes, I would just want to follow up to Councilor Wolverton's remarks and let everyone know, if you're wondering if there's a race this weekend, yes, there is. There's the Bell Center 5K.
And it's sold out, by the way,
Yes.
800 runners.
So grateful for the work that our partners in our community do, like the Bell Center, who has a race this weekend. So as a heads up, also the Exceptional Foundation Chili Cook-Off was the prior Saturday, an amazing turnout. So just love to encourage people to come out and support those great events in our community. It does a lot for the vitality of our city, as well as our neighboring businesses, that when events like that happen, it spills over and benefits them as well. As far as Mr. Adams stepping into the role, grateful for you for being here tonight. Also had the opportunity for him to join kind of a kickoff meeting for the beautification plan last Wednesday, which I'm pretty sure was your first full day, and pulled you into a meeting at 11 a.m. So thanks for jumping in. And that was with the beautification board chair, Mary Michael Kelly, Kale and the city engineering staff, and LMA, the consultant, to kind of start that discussion. And then LMA also attended the beautification board meeting today to kind of connect some dots. And so really excited about that project going forward. That's all for me today. Thanks so much.
Mr. Brandt.
Okay. First of all, I want to give a little prayer out to Mr. Kendrick on his knee surgery. We're all thinking about you. And I understand. Also, Glenn,
You'll be asleep.
welcome here, and you got a lot of community events coming up. Like you mentioned, the Taste of Homewood Thursday night. Even if it rains, it will be going on inside at Rosewood Hall. And then we need to try to work on getting you some tickets to the Friday night, the Homewood City Schools Foundation at the clubs, their fundraiser. You're not going to find another community, I would argue, in this country that's so intertwined with the Board of Education and our teachers and our principals and our coaches. I think it was a fact at one time, 25% of our teachers and education staff are either Homewood alumni or citizens of the city. And that is an important fabric to our society that's unique. And if you have the time, or if we can get you a ticket, it's at the club this year, which is a first. It's been there. It's usually been held at Homewood at park events. So we'll talk about that later. But try to go to the foundation. It's homegrown is the Homewood grown. You would know about homegrown, Mr. Washington.
All right. Ms. Nils.
Tonight we had a chance to meet with Sanford about the Creekside development, and it was nicely attended. There were about 30 or 35 folks there when I left, including us and the Sanford folks. And the biggest concern, you know, is, you know, have we looked at other things, meaning Sanford, as in, you know, Brookwood and other ways to stay away from the high school. And so that was the common question that came up tonight. But Sanford asked for the media to shoot before and after to allow residents to speak freely. For them not only to speak freely, but it to be a dialogue where there wasn't, you know, showcasing for cameras and things like that, which we've seen sometimes for our public hearings. So they asked for them to, you know, they really asked, it wasn't a demand. They said, you know, would you guys be okay with us having cameras, you know, before and after full-fledged interviews, whatever you want to do, but just while we're having dialogue, they wanted that to be, you know, something that the residents felt comfortable doing. And I left, you know, probably about an hour before it was over, but it was well attended, to my knowledge. And Mr. Adams, thank you. And we're glad to have you. You're here in a great week where you get to not only bring in the spring and the springing forward of the clocks, you get to have Taste of Homewood, which is amazing. It'll suck anybody in, just the food. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Andrus?
I do need to set P&D to follow public safety. Welcome to Glenn. So happy you're here. I can't believe it. I had a long talk on Saturday at the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast, which was an amazing event with Sam Gaston, and he was excited about having lunch with you all today, along with Jeff and Brian and from Hoover. Name's escaping me right now, but anyway, I just was like, that sounds like a fun group. I would like to be at that lunch. That sounds fun. So we're so glad you're here. I just couldn't believe it. You got to talk to some of the department heads. They've already met with you. You've already had a department meeting. I mean, it's just been amazing. So thanks for joining us and jumping right in. We appreciate you. And that is all I have.
Okay, Mr. Harden.
It's good to see you, Glenn, from Washington. I do want to make sure, when I was going through the bills, I saw the bill from Grace Tree Service to get the house on Beckham down, and I just want to make darn sure that that's put as a lien against that property, that we get our money back if they ever sell that lot. That's okay. That's what I thought. Okay, and that's all I have to say. But I will tell you how quickly you get away from the Homewood grown. I didn't even know when it was until something I saw yesterday or something. I mean, your kids go to college, some of them get out of college, and you don't even know what's going on in the school system anymore. So that is a great event every year.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harden. I will set finance for 5 for next Monday, and then of course we will be off the Monday of spring break week, back on the 31st for our second council meeting of the month of March, and looking forward to having you here. So glad you're here. Anxious to get going on everything. I know we've been throwing a lot at you, so feel free to put your hands up and tell us to stop if you need to. And with that, everybody, we are adjourned.